Bobby Buck Show, where we interview the up-and-coming artists, entrepreneurs, and movers and shakers. Hello, peoples. Welcome back to the Bobby Buck Show podcast. And I got a very great treat for y'all today, as we're going to be speaking with some great people that's been working with the Windows a Little Bronze Tokyo project. And today, with my guests, what we're going to do, I'm going to let each of them give you a chance to see who they are. And first, please, I'm going to let them introduce themselves with a brief description of how they got connected to this project and one thing that has made it meaningful for them to participate with this project. So let me see, who should I ask to go first? Somebody want to raise your hand, or who want to speak up? Let me know who. Let me go with Hack, maybe.
All right. Thank you, Bobby, for inviting me. It's great to be here with Gail, with Wayne and Mickey. The question was, how did I get connected?
Just briefly introduce yourself, and then explain to us how you got connected, so people know who you are.
All right. So my name is Haik Mahmourian. I'm an art worker. I've been doing. I've worked in Skid Row neighborhood for 16 years now, over 16 years, sort of bringing people together around arts. I ran Studio 526 for a long time. Now the two main projects that I facilitate are Doodles Without Borders and Community Arts Depot. Both of them essentially bringing components of, again, arts as a way to connect people around common interests and common concerns, as well as filling very important gaps in sort of like essential parts of what what it means to have meaningful, sustainable arts activities in a neighborhood, like storing artwork, Community Arts Depot. As far as this project, Windows of Bronzevillle, Tokyo, Little Bronze Tokyo, I have been doing work that's connected to Little Tokyo for a few years. Community Arts Depot is located in Little Tokyo at JCCC, and when I was asked to be part of the team, it was especially exciting and an honor for me, because what I've learned over the years is projects that bring neighborhoods that have common concerns together, like Little Tokyo and Skid Row, have this kind of like multifold way that they can support the individuals, bring this mutual understanding about the things that can be done together in these neighborhoods, and they relate to the larger region, whether it's LA or beyond it, in a way that does not present sort of like a one place in isolation, but sort of weaves this kind of stories of how none of us are in isolation. No neighborhood is in isolation. There's always this kind of like overlaps that exist. And this project, I felt, highlights it so well. So been very, very exciting to be part of this team and part of this project.
All right, great. I feel you with that. And so now I'm gonna see who we're going to next. Would it need to be Gail or Wayne or Mickey?
I can jump in.
All right.
Since I feel like maybe we can go in order of when we got involved, because I think Hike was involved first.
Okay. Oh, okay. That's what's up.
um,
Ring leader. Okay.
but my name is Gail Issa. I grew up here in Los Angeles and then spent the majority actually of my life and my career working in Philadelphia, where I had a chance to help found and also lead a community arts organization called Asian Arts Initiative. And there, a lot of the work that we were doing was very similar, actually, I think, in spirit uh, and in values to what Windows of Little Bronze Tokyo has been about, where the arts, are really a way to bring people from diverse backgrounds to come together and to be in dialogue and be in connection and community with each other. And so for me, being part of Windows of Little Bronze Tokyo has been a really an amazing experience of being able to really use creative practice to try to create the space for these kinds of connections and dialogues to happen. And of course, it's been an amazing thing to have a chance for me, kind of being recently relocated back to Los Angeles, having a chance to learn more about like the local communities and these neighborhoods that I've only been part of kind of tangentially. And now that I'm getting to know more deeply. And of course, it's been an honor as well to have a chance to meet the artists who have been involved and to just be really amazed by all of their creativity and artwork. So I'm grateful.
All right. Cool. Cool. So now we're going to go up top to. Is it two or three of the artists up here? Is it? Is it?
Two.
It's two. Okay. I thought I had somebody else in the background too. I thought earlier, but okay. So who wants to go first?
Hi, my name is Wayne Hoggett. My stage name is Hogtoven, like Beethoven. I'm a musician, composer, filmmaker, and producer. And a lot of my music and film work has to do with humanitarian experiences. And so I've done a lot of work here in the community, both in music and in film. And I'm currently working at ArtShare Los Angeles, downtown here, near Little
Oh,
Tokyo, as an event coordinator and an audiovisual technician. I also perform there as a my set. I'm more kind of an innovator as far as performance is concerned because I use a lot of I invent and design audiovisual equipment and interactive musical instruments. And so I've been downtown here in Los Angeles for about 8 years, I think. And I wanted to plug into the artistic community here. I started doing volunteer work here at ArtShare, doing video production for them. Then I guess kind of wandered over into Los Angeles, LA Can. I was working for a nonprofit homeless shelter organization as a photojournalist. And then I ran into, so by working with down in the community in Skid Row, I was working with LA Can, and I kind of wandered in there. I was trying to plug in to help them with media, and that's when I met Hike. And I met another gentleman who was a reggae performer. Uh, I forget his name, but anyway, as they were talking, I overheard them talking about a recording studio down here, downtown Los Angeles on Skid Row, and it ended up being 526. So Hike was the director then at that time, and he was kind enough to let me know what are the workings of the studio. It was free to the community there, and I played drums, and so I would rehearse there practice there about every week. And they had this drum set up where they had the double bass drum pedals, and I knew about the technique, but I wasn't able to really develop it. And so I just kept practicing and practicing and practicing, and finally, I kind of understood how to operate the double bass drum pedal. Maybe like most of you might not be familiar with something like that, but being a drummer, there's a single on the bass drum. You have your right foot is the one playing the bass drum, and your left foot is playing the hi-hat. But this pedal allows you to have like two bass drums. So you're pedaling with right and left actions. So I'd be playing rudiments with my feet and my hands, and develop this technique. I've been an accomplished percussionist already. I've traveled the world all over. I've visited Japan and Africa and in Europe, and played with a lot of different bands and a lot of types of music. But so I started to learn how to play what they call eighth notes with my feet, then 16th notes, then 32nd notes, which I already developed with my hands. So I would synchronize those beats together. So further along with the interacting with 526, I alerted me about this program here, Little Bronze Tokyo. He thought I was a good fit into it. I was working on a project called Languages of the Drum, the Voices of Culture. And I had been filming a lot of taiko drumming performances down here, and also performed in Skid Row. So I was already kind of connected through beats in the two communities and through music. So so when this project came up, he knew about my work as a filmmaker and the project I was working with, and he thought I would be a good fit into this. And they had a process where they had to choose a lot of different artists in the program. So I made a submission, and they saw the work that I did, and they brought me in. And I was so excited. I'd never been a part of anything like this. It just kind of motivated me as an artist to get more involved in doing projects like this. So I did a performance at LA Cam at the opening, and all I did was just play drums. Although I play multiple instruments, I play about 5 different instruments as a composer. Okay. But at that particular performance, I played drums. And so when I was coming up as a kid, I go to concerts and things like that. And then when the drummer would do a drum solo, everybody would leave the stage. And I was just awed and amazed how he captivated the entire audience, and they were on their feet just by him playing a drum solo. So I gravitated toward playing solos. I travel. I've been in the USO and traveled the world and entertained troops overseas. And I visited Tokyo and Okinawa. And this project is right in line with what I'm doing here. And I look forward to the closing event. And so that's a little bit of background on how I got involved. And it's fantastic. Hopefully you just continue to broaden this whole project.
All right. Thank you for all of that, man. We got to talk for real. Okay. All right. Go ahead. Are you ready?
Yes. Hi, my name is Miki Yokoyama, and I'm from Japan. I'm from north part of Japan, and I came here like 18 years ago. And sorry, my English is not that good. And I'm very shy to talk about myself. And I started making art about like 10 years ago, like 12 years ago, suddenly. Yeah, and art and music is always something enrich my heart, like always. Yeah, even though I have like stress, busy, but I go into like my world, make art, and make me enrich my heart all the time. And yeah, I did. I'm a painter basically, but I did a performance art, making murals, and yeah, lot of things like joining events and stuff. And making art, creating is always like joy for me. And yeah, I found this project online on Sustainable Little Tokyo webpage.
Oh.
Yeah, and I thought it's like it's very like beautiful thing to join into the community. And it's my shame that even though I live here like 18 years, I didn't know about deeply about the history of Little Tokyo or Skid Row community. So I thought it's like a good opportunity to know about the history and the community. Yeah, and actually, yeah, it was a great opportunity. I joined the walk the talk parade,
Oh
and
yeah.
yeah, and then yeah, I talked to people, and I didn't know about what to do about this project actually. So I visited the General Jeff Park, and then meet Hike and ask about the project, and then he said, yeah, it's very first time to do so. Yeah, yeah, so that was interesting for me too. Like we don't know like how to make it together, but yeah, it was excited to make it like as a first time. And I made a map of Little Tokyo and Skid Row together. I put a lot of places, history, people, and the feeling of Little Tokyo and Skid Row. And I tried to express like my feeling too, to how to see the world. Yeah, through the art, because art helps me to heal my heart. I wanted to share that feeling in me into the painting. And yeah, especially at the parade, Skid Row parade, I I felt like joy and the beauty of people making something together, and I wanted mm, to make that feeling in my painting, and then share those feeling in my painting too. And yeah, thank you so much.
No, thank you. And your English is very well. You did great. And I will be here from Arkansas 18 years next August.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Next,
yeah. And
yeah.
so, and so I'm glad that I made it here too, and I'm glad I was able to be a part of this because I had no clue, zero clue about any of this information, and so I was happy to be a part of it, and thanks to Hike. So Hike, you bringing a lot of great people together. That's what's up, man. So the ring leader. So I'm gonna ask y'all, can you share some personal experiences or stories that might highlight the blending of Black and Japanese cultures in Little Tokyo and Skid Row? So any personal experiences?
All right, I'm the one to start again. It's been so great to hear,
Yeah, I
to
guess go
hear
around. Yeah,
everyone. And yeah, Bobby, I really appreciate you sort of like bringing us together here. Because these are the type of conversation, the type of things that come out in conversations like this. I mean,
right.
they don't come out when I'm just sitting and thinking about something or whatever. Even two people talking together, like a group, it's a little bit nervous. Like it's a little kind of like it makes me a little bit nervous, but at the same time, it's a
Yeah,
nervousness that has to do with the excitement about everyone talking like this to each other.
yeah,
So to your question, I think I didn't share in the beginning, and I think it's like important, especially with this question. So I'm a first generation immigrant. I grew up in Armenia, that's Southwest Asia, part of the Swana region, and I grew up during part of the very late Soviet period, so part of the Soviet region as well. Been here for 25 years in LA immediately, and especially in the last so I've been doing things in Skid Row for 16 years, and in the last, I don't know, like 5 to 10 years, it's been especially interesting to me to pay attention to the history of liberation movements, abolitionist movements that specifically come from Black, Indigenous, and immigrant communities in this country, and how an actual liberation-minded vision for the future comes from communities who are are affected by oppression and exploitation most directly, both historically and presently. And I didn't know these things. I didn't think about these things when I started working in Skid Row, just to be clear. But like over the last few years, it's become very clear to me that Skid Row is part of Black LA, is part of this same conversations and connections that span the whole country, and are part of this Black tradition of resistance in this country. And as an immigrant, again, like from a very different part of the world, and yet part of the same planet, that where nothing is in isolation. While I am in this country, again, these histories are things that are very central to how they inform how I fit in what I do in this country. And so that brings us to, again, Skid Row and its place in these conversations, in the history of Black presence and migration in LA region. And that ties us to Little Tokyo and Little Bronze Tokyo, which I also, like you, Bobby, did not know much about. I mean, I heard things over the last few years, but through this project in the last 6 months, learned so much about, and am very interested actually to continue learning about how these connections and knowledge of this history can inform what we do now and what we do in the future. Specifically with the collaborations between Skid Row and Little Tokyo, and more generally with these overlapping collaborations that span Black, Indigenous, immigrant communities, and really include everyone, of course, in LA and beyond. So that is a preamble. The question the preamble is longer than the answer to the question. The answer to your question is, the most exciting thing for me has been over the years, especially when I was in the studio, is that unsurprisingly, Skid Row having a very large unhoused population and folks who are very and extremely low income. There is a significant, and continues to be a significant Asian American and specifically Japanese population residents that either live in Skid Row or have very strong connection to Skid Row. And also, unsurprisingly, there were a number of people, Japanese, mostly Japanese first generation immigrant folks who came to the studio, continue to be a big part of arts in Skid Row. And I guess until the last couple of years, I really didn't think beyond just recognizing that that's the case. And perhaps if you ask me, I would sort of like probably make a connection that yes, Little Tokyo is right next door, and that might have something to do with it. Folks who are connecting to resources in Skid Row and also have connections to resources in Little Tokyo are coming to the studio. But yeah, now it's much more clear, not just clear, but like I want to be part of exploring those connections so much more. Just to name a few folks, Eiko Yoshi and Kaoko and Nobuko, who are just three of the artists that have been part of the Studio 526, who have Japanese heritage, and and how they, among others, are the way that I think about one of the ways to develop this relationship between Little Tokyo and Skid Row.
Right, right. And I think like from doing this project, I really see how it's really going to be a lot of great blending coming together in the near future.
Mhm.
Yeah. So Gail, you want to speak on that?
Sure. I think maybe one thing I'll also do is just add a little bit of context about the project itself for folks who aren't familiar. I guess
Okay.
Windows of Little Bronze Tokyo, like which we've all been referring to and which has brought us all together, was really inspired kind of by a historical period in like of the Bronzeville era. A time when during World War II, Japanese Americans were forcibly removed from the neighborhood and placed into concentration camps. And then African Americans who were basically redlined and prevented from living in other areas of the city were then able to move in to the area that now is considered Little Tokyo. And then I think that there was to my understanding, like then a brief moment in time, you know, when the concentration camps closed, when Japanese Americans were returning to this neighborhood, and when African Americans were still living there. And of course, where there was like then just a kind of fusion of cultures and cross-cultural kind of community building that existed. And I think that for all of us, you know, I think that that is something that we can kind of hold as a source of inspiration for ways that communities and people who are given the space and the time and the chance to connect are then able to really build and find solidarity with each other. And for me, I think I echo a lot of what I heard Hike sharing about the ways that I think for me, like the common culture is also about the ways that there has been shared struggle. So shared experiences, like we just mentioned in Bronzeville, of displacement, but that brings people together. Ways that now the two people in the two neighborhoods of Skid Row and Little Tokyo are facing similar forces of development that again threatens to displace our communities, and ways that we hope that, you know, we might be able to build relationships and come together and be able to develop and fight for a different and more inclusive vision of our communities continuing to grow together. So, yeah, I'll pause there and give Wayne or Mickey a chance to speak if they would like.
Okay. Y'all want to speak on that?
Well, you know, I had no idea about the history down here. I've lived in South Central, off of Central Avenue, and it also has a lot of history in the Afro-American community, having businesses and entertainment like the Dunbar Hotel on Central Avenue. And so if you follow Central Avenue all the way down from Adams, it runs all the way into Little Tokyo. So ironically enough, I was going hike, and I do work and live in this residence. And so I was going to the store. I just happened to see Hike out in front of the store there before we were supposed to do my performance, I guess, at LA Can. And so that's when he told me about the history about Little Tokyo and Skid Row and Little Bronzeville. And so I did a short documentary. I had no idea that Miles Davis and Charlie Parker, John Coltrane had performed down here, and they're my idols. So I took me like 2 or 3 days to put a short documentary together about their history and their performances here at the time, Little Bronze Tokyo, and the connection between African culture and Japanese culture. And then me being a musician, when I traveled over into Japan, I traveled with a black R&B band, and so we would our performances were right in like, how can I say, our band would go on, we play Earth, Wind and Fire, some James Brown, and then the Japanese band would come on and they start playing black music. They would play James Brown and Earth, Wind, and Fire. And if you close our eyes, you couldn't tell if it was the real deal or not, the way that they had taken to our music. And also when I had traveled over there, the clubs that I had gone on to, they had these drawings in the clubs here of Japanese having afros and wearing platforms. And so the integration is historical all over the world, and it is also here. Like we were telling about the era of the World War II, and the population of African Americans over here on this side of town. So it's so when I did my performance at LA Can, I'm not a taiko drummer, but I know the rhythms, the basic concept of it. So I was trying to emulate a taiko drummers, and I would play some taiko similar beats, which have to do a lot with triplets and playing in 4/4. And then I would switch over to doing some jazz beats, like as if I was playing with Miles Davis or someone. And then I would kind of integrate them in my solo performance together. So I kind of plan to use a lot of that concept in some of the closing parts of the project, and bring some taiko drummers in. And ironically enough, taiko drumming, at least the ensemble aspect of taiko drumming, was brought on by a Japanese jazz drummer. Before, taiko drumming was more like a single type of drummer that would play taiko drums at once. But then this Japanese drummer brought the concept of an ensemble together, where they would play like 4 or 5 different drummers, and they would, kind of play in the signatures of jazz beats, but they would be taiko rhythms. So that integration has always been going on for many years through music. So me being a musician, I can appreciate the connection and the beats and the rhythms and the languages that the drums bring through the different cultures, through African beats and Japanese concepts of their rhythms being integrated. Thank you.
All right.
Sorry if I can answer that question exactly, but one thing I learned from this project is as time changing, the border of Little Tokyo and Skid Row are changing, and it used to be little Bronzeville, and then they changing to Japanese people came in, and so the time goes by, the history change, people are changing, but at the end, we all, like, as a human being, we all have same, how do you say, as a human being, something same, and at the end, like, we share the air together and under the sky. And I felt like through this project, it's like melting together. Sorry, it's yeah, that's what I felt through this project. Thank you.
All right. Yes. No, I do understand that too, because I feel like it's all coming together a whole lot more myself. So, and I know we already mentioned a little bit about a lot of challenges and everything, but also I was going to ask, do y'all see any great opportunities in fostering stronger connections and collaborations between the communities of Skid Row and Little Tokyo? Do y'all see how we can make it a whole lot tighter? So,
Bobby,
Yeah,
anybody-
project.
I was going to ask Bobby if you want to share some of your thoughts around that.
Yeah.
well, yeah, oh yeah, yeah. Because kind of like what's happening now. Because I remember when Hack brought it to my attention. I think where was that I think it was after the orientation, and then we went over. What's that location we went to afterwards? We walked over
To the
To the
Japanese American Community and Cultural Center.
Yes. And that's when I was just sitting there and I was observing everything. That's when I went, wait a minute. We all just need to vibe together, come and network, and everybody just promote each other's talents and skills, and just come together maybe once a month or whatever, and just communicate on doing some projects together. And then that's by me doing what I do. That's why I figured maybe we can do a once a month in person or even online podcast, the way we can interview each other and find out what everybody's hobby, skills, or trades, and then that way we can promote each other to the masses and bring the information out so everybody else can get it. Because, like say, like we brought in Miss Khalifa Bay when she came in to sit with us at the opening, and she mentioned about the Japanese communities being on Crenshaw. And then she told me she's already working on a project with it. So see how it's already expanding. And I was looking at her like, wow, you working on a project? I said, I'm just not hearing about it. So it's good to be intermixed, to get with people and, like I say, come together and push it out, let other people hear and understand about it. And then, and even myself from Arkansas, I used to go out with a lady from Japan. And I was young and dumb back in the day, and we reconnected on Facebook and everything. So it is kind of neat to be able to mix cultures together. And like she was saying earlier, it's more similarities also than differences. Yes, we all have difference within our culture, but we also have similarities. So it's good to come together and communicate with the similarities. So yeah, and I'm glad y'all came here to be on the show. And like I said, we're gonna let Gail and Hype be the host next time, and I'm gonna sit back and just be behind the scenes orchestrate. So yeah, because we could bring in a little bit of everybody from the communities though. I think that'll be great. So, but anybody else want to add, like, what other ways y'all think? I know mainly using the artistic ways, but any other ways y'all see?
I'll just have a short one. I kind of like seconding with everything that you were saying, Bobby, and more projects like this, like more, and projects weaving together, making a nod to each other as they move forward. I think one of the things that's been so exciting about this project is that there was a lot of attention to how it fits within a much larger history, and hopes for a future that continues with this. And I think that's what a strength of a project like this, one of the strengths, is and can be. And so more projects that weave and continue the growth of this kind of narrative. Narrative that comes from us, from the very neighborhoods, from Skid Row, from Little Tokyo, and pushes back on sort of like narratives that are very reductive, stereotyping, and so on.
Mm-hmm.
Right on. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with what I hear both of you saying in terms of more projects like this, and then also really like honoring and uplifting the connections that people have been able to make, from the sort of community orientation that we hosted at the beginning of the Windows of Little Bronze Tokyo project, where we had 50 artists and other community members coming together to learn about each other and learn about the neighborhoods that we are in. I think, there were so many different kinds of like artistic connections that were able to be made, and ideas about going forward. Other kinds of connections made by organizers working on similar issues or campaigns, and opportunities, I think, for us to all just continue like finding more opportunities to work together and to get to know each other better. So.
Yeah, and I like the way Gail keeps the structure with things, keeping me on point. Getting ready for this show right here. I like how you do that. Yeah, so I need some extra organizational skills to work with. So yeah, and also I want to ask, but with the panelists, do y'all have any specific projects or campaigns or other things y'all involved with coming up soon? Anybody got anything coming up soon y'all want to talk about, want to promote?
I got a showcase at Art Share coming up on September 20th. As a single artist performing percussion I'm working on a new CD called Percussive, and so this project is inspired me to integrate rhythms with different drums from the multicultures, such as the taiko drums and the African drums beats. So my performance, I plan to use a instrument called the hand pan. And I looked it up online, and it does have some roots in Japanese culture as an instrument. I plan to go on with that first, and then I invented a multimedia suit, so to speak, where I can incorporate data into clothes and wirelessly hook it up to a sound system, and then I can perform. So I plan to put some taiko drumming into the MP3 player that I have, and then I'm going to play on the drums. I'm going to play more of some jazz beats on top of it, and then I'm going to play some of the music I've been working on for the showcase. And so this will kind of like prep me for the closing event in November, which I plan to maybe just have a small jazz ensemble and some taiko drummers involved. And I want to write some music that would kind of fuse it together. So it is experimental, but I've already tried to do that already since I've been recording a lot of the taiko drum performances down here in Little Tokyo. So I use that soundtrack and I just layer other sounds on top of it. I don't know about how Japanese people would feel about me going in and fusing their traditional sounds with other sounds or anything like that. But I'm an innovator, so I probably will experiment with the two cultures in music and see how it goes. I mean, that's my direct connection, and so that's what I'm focused in on at this time as an artist. Thanks to Little
Okay.
Tokyo.
Okay, maybe I can try to see if I can come work with you on that. Maybe we can get some more people from the project come assist you. Maybe.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah.
That'd be. In fact, when Mickey and I were talking about doing a performance together, where she was going to enter her performance. She's a performance artist as well, and we
Okay.
had plans that we were going to do on an art share, where I was going to perform some music, and then she would do her performance art. I guess spontaneity or just right on the spot there, where I would create some music, and then she would just feel what I was doing, and she would just kind of go into her art area of expressing herself. And I went to her website. I was amazed at her body of work, and her as a performance artist and an illustrator and all these other multi areas of art that she's created in such a short period of time. I've been doing my work since I was a kid. I was just a nuisance as a kid, who was playing beats everywhere all the time. So I just turned turn that energy into something, just to a discipline of expressing myself through rhythm. But
Okay.
so that would be, we can put our heads together with that. That'd be great.
Okay. Yeah. I'll plug in with you. I don't think I have anything going on, but I'm a check and see. I might can plug in with you, and I might have a skill. Call it comedic dancing. When I dance, people laugh. So that might be something I can do.
I definitely want to come watch that. I want to watch all of it.
Well, this I'm working on is definitely dance music, so I like to see what you got.
Yeah, and also for November. So what's going on with that? Can you spill a little tea, or does it need to be held back for a later date?
Oh, for me?
No, talking about for our event in November for the closing.
So Wayne, I think, is already talking a little bit about what he's planning for that, and that'll be a centerpiece. But definitely, we should ask folks to save the date for Sunday, November 17th, from 3 in the afternoon until about 5 in the evening. I know it gets dark early that time of year.
Oh yeah.
But we're planning to be in Little Tokyo, at and outside of Azay restaurant on First Street. and having another chance to celebrate the artists and the connections between Skid Row and Little Tokyo. At this event that I think will include a chance for folks to do maybe a little bit more kind of hands-on art making, having a chance to meet and mingle, hopefully enjoy some refreshments that are local to our neighborhoods, and also then of course have a chance to experience the percussion performance that Wayne is building up to. So,
Okay. All right. Cool. Well, I think we might be coming to the end. So if that's it for everybody, or anybody got any final words, or you want to give out some website or how to get in people can get in contact with you or anything like that?
I want to plug two events real quick. Thank
Okay.
you for giving us the opportunity to do that. So one is as you're getting prepared to be there on November 17th. October 26th and 27th is the 15th annual Festival for All Skid Row Artists. You can follow Los Angeles Poverty Department, Skid Row Museum for more specifics, but probably sometime this month there will be already a opportunity to start signing up for the for the stage. There's like a 2 to 3 hour program for both days typically. So again, that's a last weekend in October, 26th and 27th, and it's typically in General Jeff Park. I'm pretty sure it's going to be there again in Skid Row neighborhood. And the second thing I wanted to plug, and maybe you'll talk a little bit more about this, Bobby, as well, is that this Friday at the Skid Row Museum, you and Catherine are going to be screening, I heard, a movie that I am personally very excited to see. I haven't seen it yet. And my understanding is that it's in part, at least, if not entirely, sort of based on the mural that Audrey made at the Little Tokyo metro station, celebrating the shared histories, not just Little Tokyo and Skid Row, but the entire region,
Right.
and all the different people that have been involved. And anyway, I'd give it to you for any more details. But this Friday, 7 p.m. premiere of this documentary between Bobby and Catherine at the Skid Row Museum.
Okay. Yes. It's going to be a nice event because Catherine brought this to my attention, and we was working on it, and then she decided she wanted to be the one to do the editing, and I was going like, huh, what? But General Jeff, I guess his spirit went inside of Catherine, and we came together, and we interviewed majority of the people that there are seen up on the mural, and it's about an hour and 30 minutes, and we got footage of each one. I want to start with saying names, and I forget some names, but we got something like with Danny Park, we got Pastor Q, Uncle Bean, True Show, and then we got me. Oh yeah, Henriette, and then we got I can't remember. See, I'm forgetting names. See, I turned 54 last month. So anyway, but we're gonna have it shown this Friday, September 6th, and we're gonna enjoy ourselves, and we're gonna also, it's gonna be dedicated to General Jeff. Because General Jeff was the one that spearheaded to make that happen. So Skid Row is a part of the art that is down there at the Little Tokyo Arts District Station. So if people see this podcast afterwards, hopefully we'll be able to record that event, and then we can also publish that so y'all can see how that went too. So yeah, so like I've been dealing with Little Tokyo, recently. They just came together that way, it looked like. So yeah, so I think we're already blending together with the black and Japanese, and I think it's gonna be great to keep on going. 2025, we're gonna see what it's gonna look like from a year from when we first got started with the first project. So I think it's gonna be great.
Yeah.
It's all right. And I do think contact information, websites, anything like that y'all want to give people to get in contact with y'all.
Should we give it to you and then have you stream it across the bottom?
Okay. Yeah, you can tell people, and we can also do that too. Yeah. So you
Use
might want to.
all the components of the technology here. That's
Yeah, we got to use all of it. Yeah. So, but also go ahead and mention it too, though. So
Well,
anybody who
most
wants,
yeah,
go ahead.
is on YouTube. But I may be able to release some of the soundtracks I was telling you about earlier, as far as the experimental cultures integration on Spotify and iTunes. I guess, and the performance I'm doing is at Art Share Los Angeles and downtown in the Arts District on September 20th.
All right. Make sure we get all the information. So, okay. But anybody want to say anything else about, website, phone number, email?
My website is artofmickey.com, and Instagram account is at mickeyyokoyama.art.
All right. All right. Y'all too?
So I can go this. Website Doodles Without Borders altogether.com, and on Instagram you can find the project at Doodles Without Borders handle.
All right. And Gail.
I don't have a personal website to promote right now, but for the Windows of Little Bronze Tokyo project, Emmy, who's behind the scenes, can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think our project website is Sustainable Little Tokyo /Windows. Is that right?
Okay. But if not, we're gonna have it down there and everything. And then also maybe
And if not, you edit that part out.
we might keep that part in. That might be the best part of the show. Yeah, and
SustainableLittleTokyo.org/projects/Windows.
oh,
I had the cheat sheet.
Okay.
hey, teamwork makes the dream work. Yeah, okay. And what about JACC? Any way to is that the website for them?
Sustainable Little Tokyo right now is housed under the fiscal umbrella of the JAC.
Okay.
So.
Okay, all right. Well, that's what's up. So, but I guess that's it, everybody. And I really do thank y'all for showing up and showing out. Hey, that's how we got to do it. And we got to make sure we get ready for the next one. So, who's going to be the host next time? Somebody raise your hand. Nobody want to raise their hand. See, it's a tough job. Nobody wants to do it. But hey, I did it. It's all good. And that's it for y'all. We out of here. Peace.
Thanks for attending the Bobby Buck Show.